Hello and welcome to Let's Put on a show about musicals, theater, and musical theater with someone who's not super into any of those things.
Someone who really, really is.
Yeah. So, we are recording today in my living room on my phone because my recording setup got kind of, what's the term?
Fried?
I was going to say bricked, but largely the same idea. So, if the audio quality is a little bit bad, well, sue me in
Please
court.
Don't.
I would love to see someone try to bring a suit against me for that.
For audio quality?
That'd be great. Are you kidding me? That would be like a landmark case.
Yeah,
Like,
I suppose, yeah.
It would be great if they lost, because then I wouldn't have to pay them any money. But it'd be even better if they won, and then that set a precedent.
Yeah.
Imagine. Anyway, speaking of imagine... No, I have no segue. We watched Kiss Me, Kate.
At the Fifth Avenue Theater in Seattle.
Yep. Okay, it's not actually sunny this time. So, sunny downtown Seattle. That one is a joke. Because I've been listening to our old stuff, and
Yeah.
every time I've said sunny downtown Seattle, it's been on a sunny day.
Yeah.
But today it's not sunny, so we're good.
It wasn't this morning.
Fine. Anyway, Kiss Me, Kate. What is it, for those that don't know?
For those that don't know, it is a staple of musical theater written by Cole Porter. It's... God, I don't remember what year it was done. It's from the 40s.
I mean, we have the programs here.
We have the programs here, but it doesn't say, like, the original production dates.
Oh, and my phone's in use, so I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I have mine.
Yeah.
Let's
see. It's from a long time ago.
It's from a long time ago, and...
Post-World War II.
Post-World War II.
Because there's a few references in there to World War II being over.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not super over.
You're dating Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that
it
joke
is...
wouldn't fly in the 30s. It's like, who?
Yeah. Okay, so the show itself is very definitely a product of its time. I'm going to say that now.
Yeah.
If you are any form of... Oh gosh, I don't know how to say this. Basically, it's... Despite the updates, it's still a bit misogynistic.
A little. I'll say a little.
I have issues with the story, and that goes all the way back to the book, not the updates.
This is the part that... Okay, so I first saw this. Have you actually seen this play before?
No.
For once, I have more history with a musical than you do, because I saw it before when I was a child with my mom. And that meant that roughly 2/3 of the jokes and most of the story went just right over my head. But one thing that went over my head that I picked up this time is the female lead being forced to perform in a stage play at gunpoint by mobsters. Mm-hmm. That's a fairly major plot element, and it's played for a joke, which is interesting.
And that bugged me, is because every time Lily or Kate, it's a play. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's backtrack.
We'll get to the comedy.
And talk about what the show is.
We'll get to the comedy mobsters, who are still my favorite characters, even though they're comedy mobsters.
Okay. So Kiss Me, Kate is a show within a show based on Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew.
Well, Taming of the Shrew is the show within the show Kiss Me, Kate.
Yes. But the outside story from Taming of the Shrew parallels Taming of the Shrew.
It does.
So it's based on Taming of the Shrew. I had to pitch this show.
It's it's a weird one, and we'll talk about the meta text a bit later. But
anyway, and so the show opens with Lily and Fred, who are just at each other's throats for some reason.
Yeah.
And Fred is doting on the little blonde chorus girl.
And Fred is the
director, star, producer, writer.
He's like
of this production of Shrew.
Yeah, and there's this great banner that comes down where it's like, what's her last name? Lily...
Oh, Lily Vanessy.
Yeah, Lily Vanessy in The Taming of the Shrew, written, produced, directed,
and starring Frederick C. Graham.
Frederick C. Graham. Yeah, and Lily is an actress who was a stage actress who has gone to Hollywood now. And then, has come back to the stage for one.
And then after they fight and, we go to their dressing rooms, it's revealed via dialogue that they were married and divorced.
Yeah, they're kind of, hot and cold in each other.
Hot and cold, and like, in the beginning they're fighting, and then they have the song Wunderbar, which is, them reminiscing a song from a show they did when they were very young.
Yeah.
And
it's, And it ends with them, like,
on the chaise making out.
Yeah,
like,
which is like, okay. But then they have this great exchange where it was like, something like, what went wrong?
Maybe it was your temper, maybe it was your ego.
Yeah, and it's them kind of admitting, like, we really love each other. Why aren't we together? And it's like, oh, we have these personal issues that keep us from being together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, clearly they care for each other a lot.
But
they're also, like, completely awful to each other.
Yeah. So we've established Lily and Fred, and then we have the secondary couple of Bill. I always want to call him John.
It's just Bill. Bill is the secondary couple.
No, Bill Calhoun and Lois Lane are the secondary couple.
Which, when I heard him on stage, I was like, what? Like, they call her Miss Lane, and then later they offhandedly refer to her as Lois.
Well, and she calls herself Lois Lane, like, when she introduces herself to someone.
But, like, that happens a bit after. That's when she's... But
anyway, her name is Lois Lane.
So, cool. And Bill Calhoun.
And Bill Calhoun are the secondary couple. And, Bill has a gambling problem, and Lois is dumb as a sack of bricks.
A sack of bricks that likes to cheat
sexy.
on him.
Well, were they together for all those, though? Anyway, that's later in the show.
There's literally a song called... I mean, it's a classic...
Always True to You calling in my...
Darlin' in my fashion. Yeah. Which is basically her saying, like,
I slept with all these dudes,
but I love you. It's like, I love you. I'm gonna go sleep with someone for money, basically.
Yeah. Well, being fair, like, he keeps running out and gambling.
I guess poverty's nerfed, but, like, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, like, so... He comes in after having lost 10 grand and
10 G's.
10 G's and has signed Frederick's name
on the IOU.
On the IOU.
Which is like...
Which enter comedy mobsters.
Yeah, enter stage comedy mobsters. Which... can I just talk about the comedy mobsters for a sec?
Yeah, go for it.
It is bizarre to me, that the stereotype, or not stereotype, but archetype existed. Mostly in, like, Cole Porter musicals. Like, Anything Goes has comedy mobsters. This play has comedy mobsters. A lot of, like, Three Stooges shorts have comedy mobsters in them.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, these, brutal hitmen in the employ of La Cosa Nostra, these crime people who kill people for money are funny and endearing, and that's really weird to me. But it's also weird that has kind of gone away. I think The Godfather probably killed the comedy mobster. Because at that point it was like, oh shit, they just butchered a horse. Oh dear, they're killing everyone. Oh my. Oh.
Okay, that explains it. Sorry, I'm reading the program. So, there's the point at the beginning of Act 2, when Frederick comes out and it's just like, orchestra, quit, and the first time we thought, so I've seen it twice.
I've seen it once.
With the 5th production.
Yeah. I guess I've seen it
and
twice.
The first time he was like, Joel, thank you, Joel. And then when I saw it last night, he was like, Bruce, and I was like, did they just arbitrarily change the name of the conductor?
Is it just the actual name?
No, it's 2 different conductors.
Yeah, it's the name of the conductor, that's great.
It's Joel Fram and Bruce Monroe.
Yeah, there's a really great spot where they, like, interact with the orchestra, where he, like... We'll talk about that in a bit. But anyway, so the comedy mobsters come in.
The comedy mobsters come in, and Fred's like, I never signed this thing, and they're just like, oh, everyone always forgets, and like,
yeah, everyone always says that, like, and they have guns, and they're like, they say beep, beep, beep. No, they're like, you're gonna pay up or else, and he basically is like,
I have to do a show, fuck off.
Yeah.
And then come intermission.
Yeah, come intermission.
So show happens,
and okay, that's the other thing. They do some of the Taming of the Shrew. I assume it's like actually just the Shakespearean language Taming of the Shrew, during which they burst into song.
Cole Porter music
during the Taming of the Shrew, and this is where the metatext started to kind of get weird for me this time.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay.
I chose to view it as Fred was inserting those songs into the show.
Yeah, that's the question. This is probably the only time that we can ask, is that song diegetic? And have it mean something.
Yeah.
Because, okay, diegesis is basically anything that happens within the world of the show. That's, a thing. Mm-hmm. So, like, diegetic music is music that is on the radio or being sung in the world of the show. Non-diegetic music is just, like, background music that isn't happening in the show. Like, during Mad Max, there's some diegetic music in the form of the Commodore warrior, like, playing his electric guitar in the car. But then there's also just... And that's not diegetic. I don't know why I started talking about Mad Max. I just really like that movie. Anyway, so during the Taming of the Shrew, they burst into Cole Porter songs, and the question that I had really is, how much of this is happening?
And for me, I chose to accept the music as diegetic.
But see, for me, that seems like if that was the case, they would have...
Because Wunderbar was diegetic. Like...
Yes.
They were like, oh, the song from the show, it was a waltz, do you remember?
Yeah, them singing it is diegetic, but the background music, presumably, is not. But then we have I'm Always True to You, Darlin', in My Fashion, which is probably not diegetic.
Yeah.
It's just her kind of singing about her internal feelings. Mm-hmm. And then, when you get
that
to...
one's in second act. The one she does first is Why Can't You Behave?
Oh yeah, which is, pretty rich. Anyway.
I mean, okay, so the four leads, Fred Graham / Petruccio is played by Ben Davis, and then Lily Vanessa and Catherine, the same character, are played by Cayman Illica. Then Bill Calhoun / Lucentio is Clyde Alves. Lois Lane / Bianca is Robin Herder. Mm-hmm. All of these, just four phenomenal talents. And Robin Herder just has that 40s belt.
Yeah.
Like...
She's got that 40s everything.
Yeah.
Like, she looks like a 40s movie star.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Yeah.
Good for her.
And she's actually married to Clyde Alves.
Really?
They have a kid.
Huh. Good for them.
Yeah.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah. And which is really funny to me because, like, I mean, probably flat-footed, they're the same height, but in the show, she's like 6 inches on him because they have her in heels. Yeah,
and she dances the hell out of those heels.
And I mean, so does he. He's not in heels.
Yeah, he's not in heels.
But he...
It's like the thing of, like, Fred Astaire is great, but Ginger
Rogers did everything he did backwards and in high heels.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's keep recapping the plot here. So, comedy mobsters come in, and then...
and then they go do the... and then they're watching... They go do some of the show.
Taming the Shrew.
Taming the Shrew. Fred manages to offend Lily again.
Yeah, basically by...
Let's leave that one as something people can see.
Yeah, he offends Lily.
He offends Lily again. They storm off to their dressing rooms, and the guys come back to find him, and he's like, no, wait, actually I did. But you see, Lily's about to quit the show, and we can't have that, because if the show runs through the week, I'll have your money.
But if she quits, we have to close the show, we have to give back all the money.
And so the comedy mobsters then threaten Lily to keep her in the show.
And they also enter the show, which is kind of delightful, because they figure that's the best way to keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
So they are just, like, dressed up in Shakespearean garb. Still being mobsters? Like, they're the only ones that don't really know how to act in the play. Mm-hmm. So they just act like themselves. They act like mobsters. So it's the Taming of the Shrew.
With mobsters.
With mobsters, just, like, occasionally, like, manhandling various actors.
Or shooting birds.
Yeah. There's a great scene where, like, one of them shoots a prop bird.
Yeah.
And everyone just kind of freaks out and runs away.
Yeah. There's a lot of great physical comedy in this show, I will say.
Yeah, it's very physically funny.
So, booking it through the rest of the plot here. Because I have things I want to talk about.
Okay, so second act.
So second act. So Lily has been forced into this, and both Lily and the character of Kate both don't want to do any of this.
Yeah, and Lily is engaged to someone.
Yeah, Lily is engaged to an as of yet unnamed person.
Yeah, a mystery man.
A mystery man who's in Washington and with the president.
And he was big in World War II.
Yeah. And so, come Act 2, like, they do a really good job of pulling parallels between Taming of the Shrew and the outside play.
Yeah.
Which got a little heavy-handed for me. But the bit with the food and the bit with the hat.
I'm blanking completely on
this.
Okay,
so in Taming of the Shrew, when they open Act 2, Petruccio sends the food away because he wants to starve her and not let her sleep because he's taming her. And then when her beau gets there, And and her beau is like, oh no, we can't eat.
I don't eat after.
I don't eat after
like
2100.
2100 hours. Which, by the way, she's engaged to like a general.
General Howell.
General Howell, who is like kind of both sleazy and conservative in that fun way that only sleazy conservatives can be.
Yeah.
He's
so
like,
anyway,
yeah, super disciplined, but he also like shamelessly hits on
Lois. Yeah.
And like is incredibly staid in his ways.
Well, he's slept with Lois before. Was the
implication?
Yeah,
no, definitely. And then he's like,
here's my card. Get in contact in about 3 months.
Yeah, like when he's gonna get married to Lois, not Lois, Lily.
The next day.
Which is like, oh boy, you are scuzzy as
him. Anyway, so that got a bit heavy-handed for me, and then she chooses to leave with the general, and then comes back, and I don't know why.
Because the general is scuzzy and awful.
So is Fred.
Granted.
Fred is an asshole.
Fred is scuzzy and awful.
And I've decided we need to start a ranking of asshole musical theater men who are still the leads.
Yeah. I would honestly... Okay, here's the thing. With Fred, yeah, he's very scuzzy and he, like, exploits mobsters to get what he wants. But then, like...
And Lily, at no point in the show, is given any say of her own. Except when she chooses to come back. But we don't know why.
I kind of feel like I do. Which is, if I'm remembering correctly, Fred basically goes, okay, you can go. Like, not you can go, but like, I accept your decision.
Mm-hmm.
Make this decision for yourself. Meanwhile, the general is incredibly rigid about everything, including, like...
What she can wear.
What she can wear, what she can eat, when she can eat it. And she realizes, like... I don't even interpret it necessarily as her coming back to Fred, so much as coming back to the theater.
Yeah,
and finishing her...
I would have liked a little exposition to tell me that.
That's true. Like it
I
does...
rarely find myself in a position where I'm saying, I wish there was more exposition.
I sometimes am. I'm actually a lot. But, yeah, the way that it ends... Spoilers for Kiss Me Kate, a musical from probably the 40s.
Yeah.
Is that... The way it ends is, basically, it cuts to the play within the play, The Taming of the Shrew, and basically Fred/Petruchio saying, like, Kate's gone, she's not coming, and then she comes out, and she gives a very, like, contrite, like, oh, women should know their place, like, be in the home, all that. And then she just gives, like, the most enormous stage wink to the audience. Like, I think it's even, like, punctuated with a little...
Yeah, and then there's the hand thing.
Yeah, the, like...
48.
48
yeah. Was Broadway.
Yeah. So, and then they sing Kiss Me, Kate, and I want to say credits roll, but there's no credits.
Curtain call.
Curtain call. So, yeah, that's the thing. This play doesn't really have an ending. It has the ending of Taming of the Shrew, but it doesn't have an ending for the framing narrative, which is kind of odd. It's even a touch bizarre because it leaves a lot of shit up in the air. Like, none of the main relationships actually have a resolution at all. Like, even Lois and Bill? Yeah, Lois and Bill, like, they basically go like, oh, I'm always true to your darling in my fashion, and then, that's it. We just
no, he sings Bianca.
Right. But then they don't really...
Like, he gives her the flower and they kiss, and that's, like, their resolution.
That's as much of a resolution as you get, but, like, neither of them seems like they're in a huge hurry to change their ways at all. And same with Fred and Lily. They're just like, oh, well, I'm an awful manipulative bastard. It's like, oh, well, I'm a petty, awful... Not petty, like, I'm, mean, and I feel like I'm better than everyone else. And then, like, okay, let's just kind of not ever discuss this at all. Which is a thing that happens in a lot of movies and musicals and things from that time period. And from, frankly, a lot of movies and musicals in general. It's not good, but because the entire play is so kind of insubstantial and fluffy, in a fun way, it wasn't a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
Like, I completely agree. It's, like, really bizarre and really, like, if you can definitely read it, it's completely, I'm not going to say it's a correct interpretation, but it's a completely valid interpretation that she basically went, nah, I love this asshole, even though he's been holding me at gunpoint and, like, sticking mobsters on me. By the way, I actually really love the mobsters resolution, which is basically that
their boss gets killed, so they forgive the IOU and walk away.
Exactly, their boss gets like gacked with a Tommy gun. They call him up for a status update, find out he's dead, and go, oh okay, and just leave.
Yep,
which is great. Like,
and then on their way out, they sing "Brush Up Your Shakespeare."
Yeah. Now I might be misremembering, but if I am remembering correctly, There are a few differences with this production versus the one I saw when I was a kid. The primary one being, I remember the one I saw as a kid taking place over a much longer time frame. Like, over the course of, like, a week or more.
The run of the show?
Like, the run of the show. And so the relationships had a lot more room to breathe. Because this one takes place over the course of one night.
Yeah.
Opening night for
Taming of the Shrew.
So, I feel like having a longer time frame, because it also means that at the beginning, everyone's, like, kind of complaining about how hot it is, but it's not too darn hot.
Too Darn Hot is the opening of Act 2.
I know. So, Too Darn Hot is, like, when it has gotten full summer, like, oh, fuck, it's so hot.
Yeah.
And then that's where that happens. Now, you were talking about updates before.
Yes.
Oh, the other thing is that I remember the mobsters singing Brush Up Your Shakespeare as they were getting dressed to go on stage. Basically, as they were, like, convinced to take part in the play.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember Fred being less of a heinous bastard and more of a, like, kind of Bugs Bunny type. Mm-hmm. But I just really like Bugs Bunny, so maybe I was looking for Bugs. Looking for Bugs, the name of my memoir. Which sounds like I'm a programmer, but I'm not. Anyhow, so updates you were talking about.
Oh, there was just a few, like, in the original one, during the second time he offends her on stage... Or the second time he offends her, the first time on stage, when, you know, she keeps throwing things at him and attacking, and he's
Which is in character for
both Kate and Lily.
Yeah.
And he very, you know, sternly several times says, if you don't stop, I'm gonna give you the hiding of your life, I'm gonna spank you, da da da. And she doesn't stop, so he spanks her. And in the original, that was just how it was, but in this one... They turned it around, so she's just like, oh no, you're not getting away with this, and then spanks him.
Spanks him right back. So, the joke about her being unable to sit down isn't extended then to them both being unable to sit down, which is way funnier.
Yeah.
And that's, once again, where I think the longer time frame makes that funnier, because it implies that he, like, I mean, okay, this is not as funny now I'm saying it out loud, but that the spanking was so bad that she can't sit down, like, several days later. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be even funnier if it was both of them were spanked so bad that they can't sit down a few days later.
Yep.
Yeah.
But one thing I just want to say for this show is there were two chorus boys who I've upgraded to aggressively bisexual.
Oh yeah, definitely.
At first I was calling them ambiguously gay, and then I saw it again, and no, they're aggressively they're aggressively bisexual chorus boys, because there's, like, in the opening they greet each other with just a full-on kiss, then the beginning of Act 2 they, like, do the kiss on the cheeks, and
during Too Darn Hot, which is all about how you'd love to sup with you baby tonight.
Yeah. And then they have a pitcher-catcher metaphor. Well, it's not even a metaphor, they just have a baseball and baseball glove.
Yeah, that's not it's a metaphor, but it's like...
Yeah. But anyway, and then after that, and they go off and are standing in the corner together while Ty Willis is singing the main part of the song, who is phenomenal. I love him.
Oh yeah, the entire cast, just phenomenal singers, especially Robin Herder.
Yeah.
Who, I saw her later and I was like, dang, you are very tall. I didn't quite grok that. Okay, cool. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, she's very, very pretty.
Mm-hmm. And, like, there's this one dance scene that she does, where I was like, I'm slightly ashamed to say I got a little bit mesmerized by it.
Was it always true to you?
I think so. It was the one where she's, like, in the purple dress.
Yeah, that's always true to you.
Okay.
No, like, God, she just...
Evidently those legs do go all the way up.
Yes. That just go see this show. Yeah. Like, if nothing else, just to just stare at Robin Herder in amazed...
Yeah, in rapt attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, She's
I
very...
mean, everyone else is very pretty too.
Everyone's very pretty.
But she is bombshell.
Yeah, she's like, you know... I have a thing where, like, I don't, like... Unless it's pointed out to me that someone is attractive, I generally don't think about it very much. Like, someone goes, you know, I'm like, person, and then someone goes, oh, that person's attractive, and I look over, and I'm like, oh, yeah, they are. But
this one was just...
I was like, oh, fuck, okay, hi, hello.
Yeah, and, like...
Hello, nurse.
Like, I love her, and, like, Ben Davis also has really great legs. That was...
And there's a lot of showing off of legs, because everyone's wearing tights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they... So, comparing this to Something Rotten went classic style and, like, used all the traditional fabrics when they made their Renaissance costumes. Mm-hmm. This show didn't give a fuck.
No, it's like, well, I mean...
It's because, like, they had spandex in the 40s.
Oh, yeah, right. Huh. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
When was spandex invented?
I don't know. Let me Google it.
I seem to remember it was, like, weirdly late.
Yeah, I want to say it was, like, a 70s thing.
To be fair, like, nylon was invented by then, but it wasn't something that people could get during the war. This is odd trivia. Like, basically, all the nylon in the world was going to the war effort. So women would just draw lines at the back of their legs to, like, give the illusion of nylon.
1959.
59, huh?
Yeah. So they definitely didn't have that.
Yeah, they definitely didn't have that then. But, oh well, it's a play.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like,
those breeches are definitely not made of cotton.
Like, if we're gonna get into that level, like, I doubt that there would be that many, like, black people on stage in Baltimore in that time.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah. Like, and that's not saying that, like, I wish they hadn't done colorblind casting. I'm saying I don't care about realism for this specific play.
Yeah.
Because,
like, ragtime, they had to do it.
Yeah, but it's Cole Porter, so, like, you know more about Cole Porter than me, probably.
Yeah.
But he was not exactly what you'd call a traditional person.
No.
So, I guess I was more inclined to, like, give some of the questionable stuff a bit of a pass, just because I knew it was Cole Porter. Yeah. Which is probably not great, right?
Well, no, and this show isn't meant to be serious.
No.
Like,
but that's not really an excuse, usually, for me. Where it's like, no, I'm just joking around saying that, like, Lithuanians cause cancer, or whatever. I was trying to think of, like, a stereotype I could use, and then I realized that using any real one would be bad, so I just made one up.
Lithuanians is not a stereotype.
Yeah, I mean, no, but Lithuanians cause cancer, that's a stereotype. Now.
Okay.
I mean, it could be.
It could be.
It's not, but it might be.
That's fair.
Is it?
I'm just
Sorry,
trying
this
to
is an
move the
exceptionally
conversation
goofy
along.
one, now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, I'm just trying to move the conversation along.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like the fact that it was a very diverse cast.
Yeah, that's good. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying,
like every production I've seen at the Fifth has been diverse, whether it needed to or not.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is, like, I don't care what fabric the tights are made of, because
I don't
if we're going for
realism,
realism,
you know, I get to stare at Ben Davis's legs for the production and Clyde Alves. Like,
and Robin Herder's legs. Yeah.
No, Clyde Alves is a dancer. He won the Astaire Award for On the Town, I think, on Broadway.
Is he the one that did, like, the standing backflip?
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. He when he's singing Bianca, he does, like, the triple round off backwards,
which is, like, cool, impressive, very good.
No, he's an amazing dancer, and, like, just in those breeches, you're just like, oh yeah, you're a dancer.
Mm-hmm. He's got dancer legs.
He's got dancer legs and a dancer butt.
Yes. Anyway, so now
that we've talked about butts, this one a place.
We've hit on the butts. Wait, no. We've touched on the butts. No, that's worse. Okay. Is there anything else we want to talk about here?
I mean, we could start creating the asshole leading man scale.
Oh yeah, the asshole leading man scale. I'm still inclined to put P.T. Barnum straight at the top, just because he's the real life P.T. Barnum.
Yeah, he'll be on there. Fred's on there. Jamie Wellerstein from the last 5 years.
We haven't seen that one yet, so he doesn't get to go on the scale yet.
I've seen it.
I know, but I haven't. So let's think about stuff that we have in that. Okay, at this point, what have we released? We've released just Greatest Showman,
Pirate Queen, and Cyclone.
And we're going to be releasing Newsies before this one. But do Newsies... Okay, I'm prepared to put Jack... No, he's not the lead, though. I put Jack Kelly at the bottom of the scale. Because he's a bit of an asshole.
Yeah, he is a bit of an asshole.
He's straight creeping on a lady, and he's like, kind of being
he'll
overblown. But he's the bottom.
He'll be the bottom. Let me get a piece of paper.
Yeah. We have like a ranking just here.
Yep.
Yeah. So P.T. Barnum, like, even in the context of the show, basically does a bunch of shitty things and gets away with it. Like, there's never any repercussions at all, aside from, like, things that he obviously and immediately bounces back from. So that's my pitch for the top. But I would definitely, like, accept Fred as the top, because he threatens a woman with death by monster.
Okay.
That's a bit of a
I'm going to
thing.
start with 1 through 10 for now, and then once we've done more than that.
Well, how about we have 10, and then we can retire one from the list when we have a new asshole.
Yeah. Okay,
when we grow a new asshole, we can retire one.
So number 1 is top of the list, number 10 is least. So number 10 is going to be Jack Kelly.
Yes. He is an asshole, but mainly because he's insecure.
Yeah. And, he is, living on the street.
And he comes around. He becomes less of an asshole.
Okay. And so P.T. Barnum is number 1.
I would say so.
So
we probably shouldn't be writing these in pen.
Well, we'll redo it as we go along.
Okay.
We got a lot to fill in before we start having to retire them.
Yeah. I would say that there is not an asshole lead in Ride the Cyclone.
No.
So, asshole white male lead? No.
Yeah.
There's the Russian guy, but he's just more of a bloviating drunkard than anything else.
Yeah. Okay, so where would Fred go?
Fred, let's put him at number 5. Just split the difference.
Alrighty.
And these rankings can change. So,
yeah.
As of now, we have P.T. Barnum as number 1 asshole of musicals.
That we have covered on this show.
Number 1 white male asshole of musicals. Don't imagine white male asshole. You just did, didn't you? Ha! I'm a mind wizard. Anyway, Fred from Kiss Me Kate is number 5.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a really weird way to do rankings, but we're here. And Jack Kelly is number 10.
Okay.
Cool. So, should we just go to ratings, the other kind of ratings that we rate stuff with? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to go first or should
I? I'll go first.
Okay.
So, technical execution.
Remember, we have the book.
Yeah, book,
we have
execution.
The production, and how it made you feel.
Yeah. Okay, so book and score, I love Cole Porter. I've been in love with Cole Porter since I was in high school. But this is, I needed more exposition. I needed to be a little more emotionally engaged. It's going to be about a 6.
Oh, I'll buy that, yeah.
Production quality and technical execution, 10 out of 10.
Okay.
I got, the sets were amazing, choreography was on point, physical comedy was amazing.
Okay. And how did it make you feel?
While I was there, I couldn't stop smiling, and I laughed at most of the jokes, and, I came away feeling kind of... I liked it, and it made me happy, but at the same time, I wanted more for Lily.
Okay. Yeah. It did seem a bit she kind of does lack agency a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as far as the book goes, I think okay, we're doing book and score together, so I'm actually going to say 7.25, just because it has a few of my favorite Cole Porter numbers in there. Fucking Brush Up Your Shakespeare is just always funny, and every line is some kind of wordplay and double entendre, and that's really fucking hard. So 7.25 for me for the book and score. I agree with your criticisms, and I feel largely the same way, but I have a very sentimental attachment to some specific numbers in the show, so that's me. Technical execution, I'm going to say 9, because 8.5 actually, just because it was all really good, it was all really solid. There's nothing really that spectacular. It's very solid, and that's good, and that's fine. 8.5 is a very good score.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking back to Ride the Cyclone and the sky dancing opera scene, and I'm that right there, that's how you get a 10 out of 10 from me, is do something I've never seen before and, like, transport me in that moment.
Yeah.
So, 8.5 out of 10 for technical execution for me. And I will say that, as you were talking about physical comedy, there was one bit that I wanted to mention, just specifically the scene where Kate, Lily as Kate, like, holds up a banana.
And then lets it drop.
And then lets it droop, and I'm like...
It's a boner joke.
This is just Dick Joke the musical, and that's cool. Like,
I mean, Shakespeare is Dick Joke the play.
oh yeah, Shakespeare would love this fucking play. Are you kidding me? He would be over the moon about it.
Like between this and Something Rotten, like, Shakespeare would love both of them.
Oh yeah, I think Shakespeare would love Something Rotten just because I feel like he'd have a good sense of humor about being the asshole.
Yeah.
And
looking like that. I mean, either Shakespeare.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Something Rotten, Shakespeare was played by Christian Borle on Broadway and Adam Pascal on tour.
Yeah, and they are both
very, very pretty men. And I've met them both.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Because I saw both productions.
Yeah, there you go. But then I legitimately thought that was a fake banana until she peeled it and took a big bite. And I was like, oh, okay.
This is where we're going.
This is where we're going. All right. Sweet. As for how it made me feel, I'm 8 out of 10. It was just fun.
Oh, I never signed numerical value.
Oh yeah, what was your numerical value on that one?
Solid 7.
Okay, yeah. I call it an 8 just because it reminded me of, watching it when I was a kid, and, like, the jokes were funny, the jokes land.
Mm-hmm.
I'm weirdly sympathetic towards the concept of the comedy mobster for whatever reason. I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's dark comedy. And it was way darker than I expected. Because usually black comedy of that era is kind of muted at best, or just non-existent, or, like, whatever. But there's just, like, a joke about someone dying in basically a drive-by shooting, and that's...
And it lands?
And it lands, and that's amazing, considering that this is, like, a light, fluffy, inconsequential musical. So, yeah, 8 out of 10. I liked it a lot. Yeah. Any other final thoughts? Or can we call this one
I think we can call this one.
All right, let's put it...
Go see it. It runs through the 29th of April at Fifth Avenue Theater. We'll cut this if it's after that when we post it.
Yeah. Go see Kiss Me Kate anywhere. Like, anywhere that it's on.
There's a film version, though it's going to be a lot older.
Yeah, it's going to be, like, black and white, right?
51, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be black and white. And probably a lot more misogynist.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't actually seen the film version. But anyway, this has been Let's Put on a Show. Do you remember what our sign-off is?
Go break some legs.
Yeah. We're not going to break them for you. We're going to chew your food, baby bird. Let's Put on a Show is a production of Blood and Thunder Publications, all rights reserved. Our music is Ragamama by Purple Planet Music. You can find their music at the link in our description. So, eagle-eyed listeners, eagle-eared listeners might notice that I said I gave a 10 out of 10 to Ride the Cyclone in technical stuff in this episode. I did not. I gave it a 9 out of 10. But I would have given it a 10 if there hadn't been a few little technical hiccups in the version that I saw, which I'm sure they've ironed out by now, so go ahead and retroactively upgrade that one to a 10. So, yeah. For everyone else who didn't notice that, well, now you did, I bet. So, good for you. So, just quick heads up, we're going to do a couple of special episodes in the coming weeks, which are previews for upcoming theatrical seasons here in beautiful Seattle, Washington. If you don't live in Seattle, thanks for listening anyway, and I hope that you can get something out of those, but if you feel like you can't, then go ahead and feel free to skip them. No skin off my back. I mean, a little bit of skin, but whatever. I've got plenty of skin to go around. Alright, have a nice day, everyone.